Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Mythgard in Middle-earth. My name is Corey Olsen, the Tolkien Professor, joined as always by my friend Gryfflet, who had been thinking that this shot would have looked a lot more dramatic during the daytime. But here he is, contemplating Minas Tirith, the city surrounded by war with ash falling upon it, in which he is probably going to spend the next, I don't know, 9 months of my life, maybe? Who knows? But here we are. We've escaped from Osgiliath, and we are coming to Minas Tirith. Let's talk to Duilin here.
I cannot stop thinking about Gothmog and the great ram, Grond.
Okay. My brother and I left Minas Tirith to seek adventure and hunt the mighty Mumakil, and at that time it felt a prison. Now I see the White City on the horizon, and it seems a refuge instead. Can its walls stand against the evils we have beheld? I cannot stop thinking about that frightful apparition, Gothmog. Is it true he has the power to escape death? What will happen when the great ram Grond is repaired and he brings it across the Pelennor? We will do what we must as always, and not shrink in fear. Truly, we will let it drive us to greater heights of courage. It seems that some of the defenders of the Causeway Forts fled before the encroaching army, and were slain before they reached safety. See if any men survived, and defeat their pursuers. It could be their injuries were grave, but not yet mortal. All right. We've got to check on fallen soldiers. We're now in the retreat. Ooh. Okay. First of all, new map, which is exciting. Here's the south gate by the Harland. What is this, like a skirmish camp out here? No, it's farmland. I see. Okay, farmland. On the one hand, of course, like, it's very gratifying how instantaneously crops grow believe me, I appreciate that. As somebody who has a cook, but at the same time, there is something, like, slightly comical about the idea of, like, oh, hang on, like, while the enemy approaches Minas Tirith and, the people cower within the walls, I'm just gonna, like, plant and harvest a crop out here under the shadow of the walls. But anyhow, okay. We'll head back towards the Causeway Forts here. The soldiers are probably the ones with the rings, I'm guessing. Let's head towards them. Actually, I kind of want to see the Causeway Forts. Okay. So we've already got, like, enemy siege towers here. Okay. Alright. Okay, right. So we're just about to the Causeway Forts and the bridge. We're approaching the inside of the Ramasechor. Okay. Alright, so there's the Ramos. Extending off towards the north. I like how even here, like, amidst the enemy encampment and the siege engines and the wreck of the Causeway Forts, I'm still in a stage of enhanced hope. Because I can see the White City. And so long as the White City stands, I still have hope. Okay. So these are the forces right on the edge, and then there's the bridge across to Osgiliath. Okay. So I always feel, well, not exactly disoriented, but something like disoriented when the epic quest, like, jumps me forward like that, you know? I would have kind of preferred to just like walk across the bridge into the Ramas on my own, but do those raiders count for the quest? Yeah, they probably do. Yeah, they do. Guess I should get around to killing them. Did he just like catch fire? It wasn't me, was it? Okay, let's see. Oh, great. Mounted enemies. Delightful. Where are those rings? Let's find the... I guess if I see an unmounted dude, I might as well, huh? Okay, where'd he go? Is there a fallen soldier around here? Theoretically. Oh, that dude. There he is. Right there in the road. I don't know. It's not looking good for this one. Got a pulse? No. The enemy hewed his body after he fell. Oh, man. That line was a good enough excuse for this whole quest. I say that because, of course, it's an almost direct quote. Hang on, Ward. Stand still. Nope, never mind. You will be spared. As that mounted dude is coming closer. Okay. Yeah, Warg, you hang out right with that Sulahar rider and you'll be safe. Did I just check the pulse of a headless corpse? Was he headless? I have to admit I didn't. The vantage that I had there was no, see, he's got a head, or seems to. Yeah, he might have looked headless from where I was standing, but okay, so there's the other one over here. Yeah. Yeah. Well, which actually would make sense. Like, I assume they're gonna take their heads. Just like they were taking the heads of the ones in Osgiliath very appropriately. I mean, I'm not saying it was appropriate for them. I'm saying, like, so as to be accurate to the text. Not encouraging the decapitation of fallen soldiers. You check for signs of life, but this man has already succumbed to death. Yeah, I thought I might be over 3 on that one. Okay. Now I just need to hunt some comparatively solitary dudes. Okay, so Minas Tirith. I think I'm going to be safer in the camp, presumably. Minas Tirith is all going to be level 100. So basically, Gryfflet's not going to level up for the rest of the year, essentially. I wonder... There might be, might need to, if that's true, I might want to redo my legendaries. Because I noticed that I'm not one-shotting folks. And I would rather one-shot folks. From behind, you know, from stealth. Alright, how do we do? Oh, we're good. Okay. That was enough.
You found no survivors.
No, none.
Orcs will pay for this.
I am not surprised, but I am disappointed to hear that good men of Gondor were bludgeoned or hewn even after death. We need no further reason to hate the Orcs, but they still provide it for us. We will not forget, and every insult will be repaid tenfold. What do you think, Derufin? This place will be crawling with enemies.
Crawling with enemies.
Yeah.
It is time to leave.
Agreed. Agreed. Oh. Bracers of the Anórien tree? Of the Anórien tree, not the Anórien tree. That's a different thing. Okay.
Saddle your steed. Tell me when you are ready to ride.
Oh. We get a riding to Minas Tirith instance? Okay. I'll saddle my steed. Wait, seriously? I get a new cosmetic set? Let's see. Actually, no, this is not quite an upgrade, though maybe it will be with the essences. Probably not. Okay, let's see. Let's see. So I will get a set of the Anórien tree stuff. Oh, I can't really cosmetically equip a bracer. What am I thinking? Okay. It's a Belfast cloak. Wow. Okay. Well, I look forward to it. I'm ready. I'm ready to upgrade. Been long ready to upgrade my cosmetics here.
Quickly now, follow me.
Okay. I'll follow you.
Osgiliath is lost, and its defenders flee across the plain. Can they reach the White City before the enemy overtakes them?
Oh, yes. Is this the instance I think it is? That is to say, is this the part of the story I think it is? We're riding in, but Faramir's already come in. There's someone off the road. Well, I'm trying to try as slow as you guys, but it's hard. We must help them. Okay. Where are we? Oh, over here. It is Faramir! Hooray! Why can I not target anyone? Captain Faramir! Oh, because I have to talk to Faramir first. Hi, Faramir! I do not know you, stranger, but I can tell by your livery you are a friend. Yes, my hodgepodge of southern Gondorian cosmetics make it plain. My men and I must reach the White City, but we are pursued. Southruns harry us on foot and on horseback, and terrible wraiths attack from the skies. I just did one of those, actually. Fight them off, friend. We must reach the city if we can.
The enemy draws near. Fight!
Ooh, on foot. Gladly. Okay. Gryfflet's doing fine. Not gonna forget to watch my morale there. A dart flies right by your head, missing by inches, and then another. Oh no! Faramir
has fallen.
Oh man, I was standing right there when Faramir was shot. Oh dear. Hey! Who's this?
White Rider.
Yay, here comes Gandalf and Prince Imrahil. Oh, yeah, there he goes.
Gondor, for Faramir!
But Shadowfax is going very, very slowly for everyone else's benefit. Hey, Gandalf! Faramir has sustained a wound. Soon the enemy will surround us. He cannot stay here. Ride for the city. I will follow with Faramir and Prince Imrahil.
Ride for the city!
They do such a good job in this game of just like having you be right on the spot for everything. Okay. Alright. Gandalf and Prince Imrahil's got I'm supposed to ride for the city. Oh, there's the wraiths. Look, I still have elevated hope, despite the wraiths flapping around me. Look, see, they're giving me the experience of the being swooped on by the wraiths as I approach Minas Tirith. Woohoo! You have come to Minas Tirith in time. Oh, yeah. Oh, hang on. Dismount. Let me just say I don't have many plans to hang out with my war steed anytime soon. And here we are. Look at the statuary. Hey, Prince Imrahil. The good news, I have good news for you, Prince Imrahil. The Corsairs, turns out, are not attacking Dol Amroth. They're like not even there, actually. I had that on good authority from many people in your city. Also, Barry-Adir says hi.
Some dark sorcery lurks within Faramir's wound. I do not like it.
I wish we had met under different circumstances, but I am glad you came to Faramir's defense when you did. His wound is not deep, but I fear that some fell sorcery remains within it. He swoons and does not respond to our voices. I will bring him to his father in the White Tower. Steward Denethor will want to see what has become of his son. I hope that son and father both will have the strength to come through this. The line is strong, I am sure they will. Still, for Faramir to be wounded thus, and so soon after word reached us of his brother's demise, it seems there will be no end to the challenges set before us in these dark days. I wish we could sit and speak in peace of Dol Amroth my home, but it is a wish that must wait. I go now to the steward. Maybe we'll get to chat later on. You know, the like swan feather mohawk that Prince Imrahil has is like kind of awesome. All right, Gandalf, what do you say?
We must hope Faramir's wounding came not from a weapon of Morgul make.
I do not want to worry you, Gryfflet, but there is something unnatural about the wound suffered by Faramir during his retreat from the Causeway Forts. I have seen a wound of its type before, but this seems to have a greatly accelerated pace, and the healing hands of Elrond are many mountains away. Gandalf sighs wearily. There were many servants of the enemy near to Faramir on that field. We must hope that his wound was not caused by a weapon of Morgul make, for there will be no hope of a cure if that be so. I told Imrahil the same as I am telling you. Do not speak of this worry to Denethor. It may prove unnecessary, but we must not give him reason to despair for the life of Faramir. The young captain is his only remaining heir, and we need the steward to focus on the battle that is sure to come if Minas Tirith is to stand. Gandalf suddenly stares at you piercingly. Of course I am glad to see you, Gryfflet, but there is now work to be done, and little time in which to do it. The pleasantries can wait until after the war is done, if that is a boon we are to be given. Okay,
You will need to freely travel throughout the city.
You travel as I do, Gryfflet on the wings of storm. Men may call you a harbinger of dark times. You know, they haven't yet, but I'd be honored if they did. But in truth, we go where we are most needed. Today, that is Minas Tirith, the Tower of Guard. You will need to freely travel throughout the city if you are to best serve the people of Minas Tirith. Any obstruction to your free passage will hinder your efforts, and that is a help to the enemy. The city climbs this easternmost spur of the White Mountains, ascending in 7 levels, each separated by a gate. Men of Gondor safeguard greater and lesser passwords for each gate. The lesser passwords change frequently, and the greater passwords remain in use for much longer. I will give you my pledge of your trustworthiness. Show it to the guards at each gate, and they will teach you the passwords for each gate. And one more thing. The men of Gondor do not know me by the name Gandalf. They call me Mithrandir, and I invite you to do the same. Okay, all right. Boots of the Anórien tree. Here, now. Wow, this is what I'm talking about. Okay. Still lower level than the other. Okay, well, I got to get to the gate. Okay. Talk to Thalgam at the sword gate to the second circle. All right. My first Minas Tirith quest. Okay. So the gate quests will take me right up. Right, so of course I was realizing that I was wrong in my thinking before. I was thinking when we were charging towards the city, I was like, wait a second, this isn't going to be the Gandalf rescue sequence, is it? Because Faramir had come through here sometime before, but of course I was forgetting. We are only meeting Faramir when he goes unconscious, right? We're only meeting Faramir very briefly, he was already in the city. So, like, he did come back here before and then got sent back out again to defend the Causeway Forts and then was coming back. So, yeah. Okay. King of Sildor. Oh, here. Oh, man. King of Sildor, son of Elendil. New deed, the line of kings. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I've discovered the plaque of King of Sildor. Uh-huh. Sure have. New deed, guests of the White City. I'm going to read so many plaques. I'm excited. Visit them all in order. Okay. Well, I've already gone out of order. I don't think I'm going to go through in order. Okay. Elendil, son of Amandil. Yeah, excellent. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that list. That is charming. All the way down to Earnur. 1 plaque for every king. I can't wait. Okay, here's Anórien. These are the easy ones. Okay. Now we can't just click on plaques, right? That's not done. We can't just click on plaques without looking at statues. All right, so we depict. What are they holding in their hands? Are those spears? Statues are so big, I gotta walk all the way around to get any kind of a different angle. The spears are axes in their inner hands. They seem to be in a similar but not identical posture as they are in the Argonath. Except they're more like stooped down. And their hands are still raised, but instead of being raised like they're telling you to stop, it's almost more like extended in blessing, right? Especially like the change in their posture, they're not like straight up and rigid, they're kind of bent benevolently forward, though they're identical. Facially, I mean. And then Elendil in the middle with a staff. And in robes. Not armor, no crown. Is that the Palantir in his hand? Hi, excuse me guys. Pardon me, sorry. Sorry, excuse me. Looking at the statuary. It is! It is. It's a staff and the Palantir. And he's dressed in some kind of, you know, nice robes. That posture of, like, both hands up in the air. It's fascinating. Fascinating that they would choose this. With his face tilted up. It's an attitude of, looks almost like supplication. As if he were praying on or in the direction of the Mental Tarma or something, though it's not the direction of the Mental Tarma. Yes, exactly, JJ. It looks almost like showing him as the leader of the faithful rather than as a conquering warrior or even as king. He's got no crown. As both Isildur and Anórien do. It's a lore master pose? Yeah. You mean like a game lore master, sure. Notice that Isildur and Anórien both have sheathed swords on their opposite hips. Right, I mean as they're symmetrical there. Yeah, that is a really fascinating thing. Because, I mean, Elendil, of course, I mean, he's the main dude, right? I mean, this is the original High King here. So that the way that he is depicted here right inside the main gates, you know, at the base of the promontory there, that he is depicted not as warrior king, but as, like, you know, prayerful leader of the faithful. That's really interesting. So the crown was less important than the scepter. The scepter was the sign of rule in Innuminous, because it was the sign of rule in Númenor. The king of Númenor had no crown. But so it is possible, of course, that I'm sure it was true that Elendil wore no crown himself. But that's no reason not to depict him wearing a crown when the kings of Gondor have always worn crowns. You know what I mean? Like, it's an accurate shot of how he would really have looked in life is not exactly the number one priority necessarily in statues like this. Especially since the crown itself was a war helm originally. So just showing him bareheaded, just as they're showing him unarmored, really makes that. And that they have the Palantir there in his hand, which, by the way, looks like well, I'm from New Hampshire, so I was going to say a candlepin bowling ball, but you might not even know what that looks like, depending on where you live in the country or in the world. But bowling balls up here are about the size of a grapefruit. So that's what it looks like, which is much smaller than the Palantir that we've seen, because we've hung out with one, didn't we? Didn't we see the Orthanc Palantir? I think we did. I think it was bigger than that, or looked bigger than that. Yeah. Right, Amarthiel had the Osgiliath stone. Yes. So, yeah, I know we've seen Palantiri before, and they look larger than that. So whether this, either A, Elendil was in fact so huge, and he was like almost 8 feet tall, that the Palantir looked tiny in his hand, or whether, again, it's just like depicting him as this giant who could hold, who could like cup the Palantir in the palm of his hand like that. It's either way, whether it's a sort of artistic choice, or whether it's, in either case, it shows not only the magnitude of Elendil, but it also shows like a different relationship with the Palantir, Okay. Let's see who these two generic chaps are over here. I say generic because they're apparently identical. What's the... Oh. No, I was hoping for a... Oh, good. Alright, they're showing because I have already seen them. All right. Oh, it's Steward Hurin the First. Oh, that's why he's so generic. Okay. I'm going to call it right now. If every statue of every steward in the city is exactly identical, I'm going to be really happy. That would be awesome. Hurin the First, son of Belegorn. There's a whole separate deed for the stewards of Gondor too. This is awesome. Steward Turin the First. Oh, look at all the stewards. Turin the First. Yeah, exactly. Because lots of people thought naming their kid after Turin Bar was a good idea. A plaque of Steward Turin the First. And of course the reason I say that I think it would be awesome, it just seems, just like the stewards, the banner of the stewards is just a plain white banner without device. There's an intrinsic humility to the position of steward. Where it's not about them. It's not about their own glory. They're just, it's like they sit on the little seat, at the bottom of the throne. They're not about elevating themselves. They're not about seeking their own glory and their own legacy and reputation. So statues are made of them to commemorate their stewardship, because that's important for the city, right? For the city and its history and for its people. But if every statue were to look exactly identical, then it would be a way of sort of showing that, like, the men themselves didn't matter. They were just occupying the stewardship. They were just, they were just doing their duty. It wasn't about them. It wasn't about their glory. So that would be fun. And in which case, these statues, which at least these two are identical, would be designed then to be a symbolic representation of the, like, office of stewardship, right? So we have them armored, so they're here to defend the city. They're bearing the helmet with the wings, right? So they're like they're like the guards of the citadel. Bearded with their eyes closed, is it? They have their eyes closed? They look like they have their eyes closed. That's interesting. They have the swords drawn, but grounded in front of them. There's the sunburst on the hilt, which would presumably stand for the city, So they are the lords of the city, the lords of Minas Anor. But of course, like a sword with a sunburst on it, but the sword is grounded, so they're not aggressive, right? They're not, focused on gaining new territory or anything like that. They are merely standing ready to take, to lift the sword and defend the city. Yeah. I like the steward statue, and we'll see. We will see if they are identical all over the place. Hang on, I better do milestone. In any case, I'm gonna want it rather than Barhurin for sure. Okay. Now I've got my. There it is, my Minas Tirith first tier milestone. Yeah, Druid's Fire, it is cool, isn't it? That in real life, the flag of the stewards is the universal flag of surrender. But of course, it's, the one thing they don't do. Yes, I agree. That is cool. See, guys, your green Gondorian surcoat is very cool, but still less cool than the Rangers of Ithilien, whom I still think to be the snappiest dressers in all of Gondor. Ooh. Oh, here we go. And, they're not exactly the same. But these are identical with each other, too. Because these dudes are unbearded and dressed in different armor. They got the swan thing going on. Oh, yeah, and the stable master. There's so much
These are troublesome times
to see and do here that I'm like overlooking the basic things. I know I'm gonna. Who are in Warden of the Keys? Okay. I didn't meet him. I just walked right past him. Do I have to like actually click on this? Oh man, another one? Alright, hang on. Okay. My Gondor deed log. My exploration deeds here. Okay. Vaults of the White City. Oh, there are only 6 vaults? Okay. And Guests of the White City. Oh, that was the stables one. Okay, get 10 of those. Oh, he's the Warden of the Keys, but there's 6 other wardens. Cool. I like that. Yeah, I mean, he's called the Warden of the Keys. There's no indication in the text that title, Warden, he is called the Warden of the Keys. That title is, then given to a bunch of other dudes as well. But hey, I like it. And then we've got, the line of kings here. Right? Oh, look at all those kings. And then the line of stewards. Right? 33 kings and 25 stewards. Oh, yes. And then just my Slayer deeds, which I started more or less. Okay. And there's pubs, too? Yeah. Oh, and I knew I wasn't exaggerating when I said the rest of the year. I mean, it's my goal to complete Minas Tirith by 2024. Okay, now I'm going to come back and click on quest people, but I'm still like, forget accomplishing deeds. I'm still like acquiring deeds here in the courtyard. Taranan Philastor. Oh, this because it's a king statue. It's not a. Right, it's one of the ship kings. Naturally, that's why he's got the swan stuff going on. right? His armor looks so much more, you know, Amrothian. Earnil the First, Kiryatan. Okay, so this is the dude who got the throne instead of instead of Arvedui, whom we've met. Okay. All right, so Ship King statues. So there's like a whole line of Ship King statues. Okay. Okay. All right. Is there anything... Are there any other deeds I need to get or move along here? You said there's a pub deed as well, but I don't think there are any pubs here in the you know, this initial thing. This is just the housing deed, right? Yeah, just the housing broker. Or the housing quest, I mean. So I won't worry about that. The merit committee? Well, I don't deserve any battle decorations yet. Okay, alright, so I will then do the quests. This is the... No, over there is the horse to Belfalas. Okay. Who are you guys? Master Builder, Smith's Fellowship? You guys are just hanging out down here? What are you doing near the gates? Oh, you're my Vector quest. Hi.
Mordor will regret challenging the walls of Minas Tirith.
The lands east of here are completely ravaged by the enemy. Is it true that you traversed Osgiliath, the Causeway Forts, and Pelennor Fields? Yep, and Ithilien before that. I almost cannot believe it. The White City will certainly benefit from your aid. Well, shucks.
Mordor
I am
will
Kurugand.
regret challenging the walls of Minas Tirith.
I am Kurugand, head builder in Minas Tirith. I've been overseeing city repairs for many years, though my crowning achievement is without a doubt the Ramas Ekhor. Ah, right, yeah, you fixed up the Ramas Ekhor, right? Now I've been told that the Ramas is being decimated by orcs and trolls. How dare they destroy my livelihood? And just like the pure aesthetic violation is shocking. I would like to start overseeing repairs as soon as it is safe again to leave the city. I think many people would approve of repairing the Ramas as much as possible. If you are venturing out in Pelennor, would you be interested in surveying the damages of the Ramas Ekhor? I most certainly would. While you're out there, know that men still protect the outwall at the south gate and north gate. You may be able to lend a hand to Turgon and Ingold. Good old Ingold. I'm sure they could use it. Absolutely. Look forward to meeting them. Okay. Woohoo. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So, other quests. I can't even, like... Oh, yeah. This Swan Knight has a quest. What's he up to? Hello there, Rossaran. Do you know Barriadir? Oop. Wrong button.
We can only hope that the Rohirrim will arrive before it's too late.
I rode to Minas Tirith with Prince Imrahil of Dol Amroth. It has been a long journey, but I am glad to be able to fight at Imrahil's side. You tell Rossaran that you met his wife, Bruinis, in Tadrent on your travels. Yeah, I absolutely remember that. How is Bruinis, then? I bet she's keeping busy. How has Tadrent fared with the Corsair invasion I've heard of? You tell Rossaran about your adventures in Tadrent where you prevented Corsairs from sacking the town. Hang on. I have no memory of this place. Western Gondor. Belfalas. Which one is Tadrent? I'm in Lontier. Is that this one? Is this town Tadrent? I'm trying to remember. Yeah. right? Tadrent is here, and we, I can't, like, actually see my little flag to tell me where it is. Yeah, right. Okay, so she was the one who was, I mean, I remember there were, like, a bunch of refugees here, and we went out, and there were, like, the raiders all around, and was she the, like, there was, right, there was his wife, Bruinis, and then there was, that, like, really grumpy old dude who, like, I distrusted immensely and turned out to be a traitor or something? Okay, alright. It was a while back, man. Rossaran, it was a while back. Okay. Prevented Corsairs from sacking the town. Yes, I did. That is true. Bruinis has turned the sleepy village of Tadrent into a prominent stop for merchants traveling between Dol Amroth and Callambel. This is good news that brightens my spirits, traveler. I do still long to see my home again. Come look at the fire with me. What fire? That fire? Okay. Let's stare into the fire and see what we see, Rossaran. The flame burns brighter with the hope of Gondor. Okay. A little symbolic brazier there.
I hope you are prepared.
This fire burns with the embers of the signal fire for the lighting of the beacons. Oh, really? The flame before you connects me to each lit beacon. So this is the brazier from which they light the beacons? Oh, that's fun. It's like the Golden Milestone in Rome. The Golden Milestone is like like all roads lead to Rome, right? And in the Forum where all of the roads came together, there was a Golden Milestone, which was mile 0, like of all of the roads in the Roman Empire. So that it's like this. That's what. Okay. When I see this fire, I can see all the way to Nendoth, overlooking the town of Tadrent, where Bruinis goes about her daily tasks. It is good of her to keep my home a place of beauty and calm in my absence. Well, I don't know about calm. While I am out here protecting the prosperity of Gondor. And she's home protecting the prosperity of Gondor, by the way. Like, prosperity is kind of under threat there, too. Because I don't know about Dol Amroth, but in Tadris there were definitely Corsairs. Thank you for the news. It gives me hope, and it is a reminder of what I fight for. I shall one day return home. Cool. Well, that was a fun trip down memory lane, Rossaran. Okay, there was somebody else with a quest ring around here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting, like, all the menfolk who have been away. Oop, Hall of Errands. Hang on, got another plaque. Oh, captains of Minas Tirith, too. Okay, okay. Got the wardens and the captains. You've discovered the Hall of Errands plaque. Okay, hang on. Okay, so there are 5 captains. He's the captain of Tidings. Okay. And, okay, this is the Masters of Minas Tirith. Oh, right, the Master Builder I meant. Okay. There's a Barrel Master of Minas Tirith? Oh, man. Okay, and then, oh, this is the quest one. Sure. How many quests am I meant to do? 21. That's not many. I have more deeds than quests to do here. Okay, so I've got captains and masters. I've got the wardens, the vaults, the guests. Oh, the Hall of Errands. So this was in the guest quest. I was wondering which deed this was in. Okay. Well, now I actually have to go in the buildings, too. I have a quest that ends with you, Lamlor?
We can only hope that the Rohirrim
my
will
vector.
arrive before it's too late.
Many have faith that the Rohirrim will arrive to aid us. I fear that folly may have befallen the riders. Folly? Oh, like, you think they got stupid and won't come? Perhaps all is not lost, though. I have been told that you have spent much time out in the Pelennor, safely navigating through the thick of the enemy. Would you be willing to ride north of Minas Tirith into Far Anórien and search for the riders? Heck yes, I would. I've always wanted to go to Far Anórien. You should speak with Bregdal in Kritos. He is a trustworthy ally and errand rider of Minas Tirith. So, is this the vector for after I'm done with Minas Tirith? Like, is this a quest I'm going to be putting in my back pocket for the next 9 months or 10 months or actually 11 months? It's really still mostly the beginning of February. Now it's halfway through. Anyway, point is, this is for after Minas Tirith, right? You should speak with Bregdal in Kritos. He is a trustworthy ally and errand rider of Minas Tirith. I sent him to it's probably Kritos, right? Not actually Krithos. On a special mission to seek information on the whereabouts of the riders. His knowledge of safe travel through Far Anórien is unmatched. Ride swiftly. Oh, well, when I ride, I will ride swiftly. Captain of Tidings. I'm gonna just assume, I mean, since my vector quest to Minas Tirith sent me to this guy, and he's immediately sending me off on a vector quest somewhere else, that I'm not just supposed to go herring off right away. Right, can I... Oh, I can't go in here? Can't enter the Hall of Arrows? Okay. That's going to be my final step here before I leave the courtyard, is actually going into the buildings. Hello, dudes with names. Nice to meet you, Oriat and Hanar. I assume I'm going to have quests to you gentlemen at some point, since you're named and everything. Alright, I can go in the stables. Let's make sure there's nothing in here to do. Ooh, look, there are people with names in here too. Names like Horse and Worried Soldier. These are really beautiful stables. Except there isn't much room for horses. I mean, like, the horses are just kind of, you know, milling about in the lobby here. Love it. Love the grass. Skylight up above for the... Yeah. Oh, yeah, like we have an actual indoor paddock for the horses. Man, they do right by the horses in Minas Tirith. That is cool. Yeah, don't argue with the horse. He's trying to cheer you up there. What are you trying to... Are you washing the horse? Oh, you're brushing the horse. I thought that was the drinking horn he had in his hand. Gotcha. Okay. You're brushing the horse. That's good. That's good. Okay. Yeah, the horses don't have, like, stalls per se. Oh, no, there are stalls over here. Okay. I was going to say, the horses just seem to be kind of, you know, milling around. Alright. I don't see any quests in here. Did I miss one? Yep, and you notice what I am not seeing? Women. Almost all dudes in here. Because the women have been sent away from the city. Okay. Alright, I don't see any quests in here, so just thought I would check. Gryfflet likes to be thorough. Also, like, who knows, but what, maybe there's like a, you know, statue of a steward in here or something. Not going to get very far in Minas Tirith, not being thorough in my explorations. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Just lagging a little bit. That's all right. Okay. There's the merit committee. Let's go talk to Hurin. Okay. Hurin, Warden of the Keys. Wow, those are really fancy shoulders you've got there. Like your pauldrons. I wouldn't say no to a... Oh, wait, hang on a second. Did I... Oh, no, I didn't get the boot. I didn't finish the boots quest yet. I got to go up to the gates to do that. I was going to say, what did the
used to be
boots
so
of...
full of life, I wouldn't
tree
have you
of-
coming.
Okay.
Now, well, the quiet speaks for itself.
Was that a generic voiceover? With so many people evacuating the city, many homes have been left empty. Unfortunately, there are some honorless thieves about that have taken the empty homes as an opportunity, and there aren't enough guards to take care of it. Would you mind looking for some of these foul thieves and teaching them a lesson? And return any stolen goods they have on them while you're at it. Okay. Looting in Minas Tirith. Truly, that is despicable. So, no problem. I will... If I find any... Oh, I can't get into the Keep of the Keys? I guess it's locked, right? Well, makes a certain amount of sense. Did I looked at this already, right? Okay. Just checking. All right. Looters in Minas Tirith. It's the walls! Let's go up on the walls. Yeah, I mean, it's just as well, Phil, that I can only go into a limited number of buildings, as this is already going to take long enough. All right, looking at it. Uh-huh. There's the Ramos. Uh-oh. Some Easterling tents out there. Did I see a... No? I thought I saw, like, something clickable. Okay. Can I open the portcullis? Oh, I can. Look at that. Hey, guys. Oh, man. I'm getting a future flashback being on these walls. It's a really impressive bow, dude. Who's this guy? Unnamed pacer of the wall. Okay. So glad the walls are black. So glad the walls are black because, again, that's just, you know, a detail from the book and a detail that, you know, many people miss. Peter Jackson did so wrong by the walls of Minas Tirith, it's not even funny. It's seriously, like, it seems like it's not a big deal, but it's kind of on my list. Okay, follow the quests. Well, except not to Far Anórien. Right. So I'm going to just take that one off my list, lest I be tempted. So, right, the Looter quest and the Ingold quest. Should I go out to the Ramos? Maybe I'll do that one next. Oh, no, wait, she's just the housing broker. Yeah. Let's go out to the Ramos. Since the Master Builder... Put on my invisibility hat. Since the Master Builder is one of my, you know, Minas Tirith deeds, so it's like the beginning of Minas Tirith stuff, I'm going to assume that the quest that he gave me is not a vector quest on to the next section or something. So let's go see Ingold. He is famous. Okay, we've got some random lurking bad guys. Whoa, whoa, too much. Hang on. Yikes. I'm trying to look up at the mountains while I ride, without riding straight towards them. White mountains, looking good. You think every quest in Minas Tirith is a vector somewhere? As I say, I just don't want to get caught up on a quest line which is taking me out of this, like, away from the city regularly. But meeting Ingold and surveying the Ramos prior to the attack seems like a fit Minas Tirith quest. So, besides, it's daytime. Look at this lovely orchard up here. Oops. Okay, so here is where Gandalf and Pippin came in. Stop, please. I almost ran down Ingold there. Okay. Hi, Ingold, captain of the Outwall. You are not here to convince me to leave my post, I hope.
Before it's too late.
If so, it is a fool's errand, for I plan to defend this gate until the Rohirrim arrive. Okay. Good on you, man. Scouting the North Gate.
When the time comes to fight, we'll be ready.
At any moment, the Rohirrim may come to our aid. I will welcome them like my own brother. As I await the arrival of the Rohirrim, my men scout the land north of the Outwall, while we hold the northern gate from the enemy. I am afraid to leave the north gate unattended, as many spies of the enemy roam nearby. Would you check in with my men upon the wall in my stead, so I may learn what they have seen today? Sure.
Is this your first time in Minas Tirith?
There is
Shame
much.
you couldn't see it in better days.
There was much awry in Pelennor. The enemy is slowly approaching towards Minas Tirith. I just recently I saw a small patrol of orcs headed towards Erin Lothad, just southwest of here. Erin Lothad, huh? Can I count on you to investigate and defeat these orcs? Ooh, southwest of here? Inside the Pelennor? Yeah. I fear the safety of the orchard, as we will need them to feed the soldiers after this battle is won. Oh, that was the orchard up on the hill that I just saw. Okay. Better stop by the stable master.
How may I help you, friend?
Oh, hey, lady. You didn't get sent away, right? Okay. Okay, so I've got the orchards up here. Might as well, they're right here. I'll just go visit the orchards. Yeah, the pink trees up on the hill. They look lovely. Get into stealth and sneak up the hill. I love that I can... Oh, the blight flies can detect me even if I'm stealthed. That's too bad. Okay. Oh, look at this little, like, this little tiny little village of, like, outbuildings. This is adorable. For, like, the orchard keepers out here. This is so cute. I mean, cuter without the defilers, I guess. Okay, Defiler. Got the red eye in the middle of your chest there. That stable master is the Durnhelm of Gondor, you think? Okay. So that was 3 defilers? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Whoa, dude, slow down. Slow down, I'm trying to stab you from behind. Man, barely caught you. What were you in such a hurry about? The neat rows of trees. It's like the little office of the orchard keeper. Man, those I've never seen defilers scurry like that. Look at all those quest rings in the city. I didn't even notice that. Okay, so now I'm gonna hand this in Ingold, and then I'm gonna go speak with the Gondorian warrior at the North Gate. Yeah, right. I gotta go check out his reports here. Okay. Took care of many of the defilers, but some of them are just running so fast.
The enemies of men approach. I hope you are prepared.
You have prevented the orcs from destroying the orchard. Their cunning ways continue to both impress and disgust me. We must keep these vile creatures at bay. Okay, I gotta tell you, I'm not sure that orchard's gonna make it at the end of the day, but... Whoa. So many more quests. That's got to be the best defiler I've ever seen, says Straussnake. I don't know about that.
When the time comes to fight,
Quickest, at least.
We'll be ready.
Okay, these mysterious axe-wielding Easterlings from the north must be dealt with. Some have recently entered the Pelennor. Find them and defeat them before they gain even more ground. Oh, Sulahar Easterlings. Oh, man. Not the horsemen. Delaying the siege.
We can only hope that the Rohirrim will arrive before it's too late.
Parapet of the North Gate. I have espied orcs erecting machines of war. We must sabotage this equipment to delay their advances. Oh, Gryfflet is good at this. He's been a siege engine saboteur for years. Time needs to be on our side. I wonder what the total number of siege engines I've sabotaged over the course of my career is. Time needs to be on our side if we wait for the Rohirrim to aid in our defense. I call upon you again to brave the eastern fields and destroy their siege equipment. Okay. I have witnessed our farmlands and granaries go up in flame. If that blow was not enough to deal with, now the enemy has set up encampments upon the scorched earth of our farms. The closest farm to here is Pelennor. The North Farm, sure. I want to retaliate, but it is too... The North Field. I want to retaliate, but it is too dangerous to attack the enemy directly. The farm burnt at the hands of the Easterlings. Their captain, Khulur, is still close by. Perhaps one hobbit such as yourself would be able to sneak across enemy lines. Are you willing to defeat the enemies gathered at Pelennor and find their captain? Sure. Man, this guy's got lots of quests. Okay. And are they all inside? I guess they're all inside the gates, huh? Even the... Yeah, I reckon. Go up on the Ramas. Yeah. Here I am on the Ramas Ekor, looking out into Anórien. Hang on. Look out into Anórien. There we go. Alright, so the Rohirrim are going to come down there, kinda. Kinda. Wait a second. Wait a second. Look at that little trail that comes down. Am I right in guessing that that trail that comes down is the trail that comes down from the Duilin Forest? So the Rohirrim are going to... So this main road is the road which they're going to be expected to ride down, but they're not? Is it that close? Hang on. I must know. Oh, I bet it is. Looks like it, right? No? Maybe it's not. Anyway. Very cool. It's kind of fun to know the future. Hey there, dude. You're not the dude I'm looking for. Oh, man, I can't go all the way across? Oh, yes, I can. Just a little divot. We're good. Okay. So am I getting closer to the... Yes, I am. There he is. Hello, Gondorian warrior. What do you see apart from that Sulahar rider right down there who doesn't even fulfill my quest because he's on the wrong side of the fence. Wall.
When the time comes to fight, you'll be ready.
Nothing stirs on the mountainside today, except for that guy and that other guy? I won't tell him, but you better not fall asleep, man. Okay, let's look. Indeed, the mountain looks quiet. Yeah. Relatively quiet, except for the enemies. Okay. Where's the second Gondorian warrior? Oh, I'm like right next to him. He must be up top here. I can't believe I'm on the Ramas. That's so cool. Hey there. Okay, yeah, so that's the path I was looking at. Is that the Duilin Forest up there? Due north of us?
Is this your first time in Minas Tirith? Shame you couldn't see it in better days.
Look closely out there and you will see men on horseback in the fields north of here. It's not the Rohirrim, though. The Easterling riders patrol the fields of Talatha Anor. Perhaps they know of the Rohirrim and plan to ambush them? I'm afraid they do. I'm staring straight into a Merlin, however. Okay, Easterling riders patrol the fields of Talatha Anor. And the third Gondorian warrior, he's down over here, right? Little burglarious shortcut there. Are you up here, third Gondorian warrior? Yes, you are. What news from the east?
The enemies of men approach.
With what I've been watching today. Look across the river and you will see men and orcs preparing for war. Across the river, an army of orcs and Easterlings from the north. Yes, that awkward other army. Uh-huh. Oh, there's a fourth one, huh?
When the time comes to fight, we'll be ready.
I've been watching the Pelennor fields, and the news I have is nothing that Ingold does not already know. The eastern fields are overrun with the enemy. However, I noticed some of the northern forces are starting to converge with the forces already in Pelennor. I fear war is upon us. You think? You might be right. Yes, indeed. All the signs are here of war, like an enemy army coming to your walls. That is a bit of a giveaway. Okay, Ingold.
Is this your first time in Minas Tirith?
It seems there's much to be done.
See it in better days.
If we are to make safe passage for the Rohirrim when they approach this great city, I am counting on you for assistance. Okay, do you have like another 4 quests for me? Only 2.
We can only hope that the Rohirrim will arrive.
Could the
before
Sulahar
it's too
Axemen
late.
know about the Rohirrim? If this is true, what accursed magic gives them this tactical advantage? Perhaps I am thinking too much, but I cannot devise another reason as to why the Sulahar would be patrolling the fields north of here. We must do something about this.
When the time comes to fight, we'll be ready.
This northern army consists of orcs from Mordor and Sulahar Easterlings. These strange axe-wielding Easterlings are a new threat, the likes of which I have not seen before. If we are to hold the northern gate for the Rohirrim, we will need to deal with these northern forces. Venture into Talith Anor, the lands north of here, and defeat patrols of these Easterling axemen. It has also come to my attention that these Easterlings are trying to construct barricades along the Forant River. This should be dealt with as well. Destroy barricades. Okay. Now, although this is sending me into Anórien, I'm still assuming, like, again, this is all still clearly prep for the Minas Tirith battle, so I'm assuming that I'm not following the, like a, you know, a breadcrumb trail out of Minas Tirith and away from all the other things I'm supposed to be doing. It's hard to know how to do all the quests in the proper order sometimes. So, all right, I'm gonna, what time is it? I still got time. I'm gonna get this out of the way. I gotta do some mounted combat, so. What? Did I accidentally attack you? Oh man, you're the last one I wanted to attack. Where'd you go? Get back over here. Gonna end up aggroing all of the warg riders and... Don't you run away. I'm already annoyed enough at you. Come on, would you please? Mounted combat is tedious enough without chasing you halfway across Gondor. You're not even one of the dudes I have to thank you. Crying out loud. Put on my hat quick. Another warg rider who's useless. Well, that at least is one of the dudes I'm supposed to fight. Okay. Alright. So, I have many dangerous enemies here. There are warg riders, there are Sulahar riders, and there are bucks. Which ones should I fight first? Okay, Sulahar rider, I've got at least one quest for you. Let's go over here where there are no other orcs. Where'd you go? No, I'm not attacking the deer. Don't need to attack the deer. Okay. That's one. Okay. So... while I'm doing this... he's stalking me with his little axe. Okay, while I'm doing this, I'm going to answer one of my stored lore questions here. So I started addressing this question like a month and a half ago, and I don't think I finished it. It was Bill Sticker's question. Bill Stickers was asking, according to the Tale of Years, Gandalf fell from the Bridge of Khazad-dûm on January 15th. But it's already January 23rd when he pursued the Balrog to the peak of Zirak-Zigil. What do you think he did down in Moria for a whole week? Okay, so this is a great question. So, on the one hand, it is often true, I believe, that... there we go. It's relatively efficient. It is often true, or it seems to be true, when Tolkien is doing calendar stuff. You know, when he's doing... whether it's like the Tale of Years, or whether... where'd you go? Where are you? Whether it's the Tale of Years, or whether it's... like the Annals of Aman or something like that. You know, there are some places where he does a lot of work to make things match up. There you go. I think he just bled to death. Hooray! I finished the mounted dudes. Okay, what am I doing next? Out here. Defeat patrols. Okay, here I am in Talith Anor, up there by Caer Andros. Would love to visit. Not yet. Okay, so the... what is it called? Culling the Tide? No, that's just defeat Easterlings. And those can be inside, so that's fine. Which else? Okay, Sulahar on the Foront. That's the other one I need. Okay. So, yeah, let's head over there. Okay. Often, I do think, you know, he has to make everything line up and the timing work out. There are some times when it seems like he is... oh. Look, it's a patrol. I think I gotta do this patrol. Anyway, as I was saying, sometimes he... oh, come on. Oh, wow, it's getting really crowded around here. Look, Boglurker, I have no quarrel with you. I think that there are some strange choices in the... I think that there are some strange choices in the calendar which are like needed in order to make, you know, the overall days work out. But at the same time, Tolkien was very careful about these things. And I don't think he's merely fudging. That is to say, I doubt he's looking at the those two calendar entries. I mean, he would have been well aware of the fact that he had put 8 days in between those two events, right? It's not like he wouldn't have thought about that when he did, when he made those calendar entries in the first place. So what would he have thought about? I mean, the only account we get of this is Gandalf's account. Oh. Hi there, Silhar Warrior. Which is very brief on this question, you know. What exactly what he did. You know, Gandalf's description of, you know, following the Balrog through Moria is quite brief. But one thing that when Gryfflet destroys a barricade, he really destroys a barricade. I love how I have to go around the barricade that's not there anymore. One of the things that I think is important to keep in mind as a result of this little calendar calculation is that it's a long distance. Gandalf makes it sound short, you know. He pursues him through, you know, they go up the stairs, you know, sounds like he's doing cardio up the endless stair for a long, you know, for a goodly while, but the way that Gandalf describes it almost makes it sound as if, you know, the entirety of the, you know, falling into the chasm, and then, you know, following the Balrog closely took, you know, hours, basically. But there's no real reason to think it did take hours. It's a long ways. I mean, those mountains are big, and it's not at all obvious that notice in Lotro, if I'm remembering my Moria landscape accurately, in Lotro they made the foot of the endless stair pretty close to the bottom of the chasm, like they actually were right next to it. In fact, the Lotro landscape, as I recall, seems to be premised upon a reading of Gandalf's story, which is, you know, more or less in line with the assumptions that I think a lot of people make, which is that, you know, they fell, they fought a bit more, the Balrog went up the stairs, Gandalf went up the stairs after them, they got to the top of the stairs, they fought more, Balrog died, Gandalf passed out. Right? You know, like, all on more or less the same day. At least, as I say, the terrain, the Lotro terrain, seems to at least, like, allow for that. I was wondering if I could get away with destroying that barricade without alerting that fly. But it's clear that didn't happen. So maybe, you know, one way to represent that, I forgot I wasn't stealth. I just fought the fly. One way that you could represent that would be to have there be more travel required. The Balrog might have had to go some distance before it was able to get to the bottom of the endless stair and go all the way up to the top of Zirak-Zigil. I assume all the patrols are on the western bank, right? Why would they be patrolling on the east side, which is presumably still controlled by the... Yeah, here we are. This turtle doesn't attack me, too. Yeah, so them traveling, but it's still whatever. However you do it, right? However you think it through, it still remains a remarkable thing to try to imagine that Gandalf was in close pursuit of the Balrog, fighting him off and on for a week in Moria before they finally, fought to the end there. It takes a lot of imagining, no matter how you think it through. So I don't really know exactly how Tolkien would have rationalized it. Again, I do assume that those dates are just made to accommodate other dates, to make everything work out together. But it seems in some ways an odd solution. Okay, that's all the northern ones, right? I think everything else is back to the walls. Go back to the walls. Okay. I think so. I'm just gonna go as I am. I say it's an odd choice because we know that Gandalf is unconscious for an indeterminate amount of time. Oh, it's a little mini Ramas here. Gandalf is going to swoon after he kills the Balrog, and he is going to go away, right? So Gandalf is going to die, and the amount of time that Gandalf spends dead isn't from a narrative crafting standpoint, a functionally infinitely plastic amount of time, right? I mean, he could make him be dead for as long as he needed to before he came back. So it's a noticeable choice. It's a noticeable choice that he has Gandalf, schlepping around Moria for a week in the company of the Balrog. Anyway, I don't know why. I don't know why he would do that when he had an out if he'd wanted it, right? Just make it happen sooner and let Gandalf be dead for a week longer, right? I mean, what is the cost of that choice? I don't see it. And so therefore he seems to have actively chosen, not just been backed into a corner by the, exigencies of the rest of the story, but actually chosen. Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, how long should Gandalf be pursuing the Balrog through Moria? Answer, a week. That's how long. And it gives to the whole thing, it changes the context of Gandalf's narration of the events to Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli. That is, it makes him sound like he's just skimming over things more. But when I think from a Lotro perspective, that is, when I think about the kinds of quests that we've gotten, Gandalf doesn't want to lose the Balrog because he might be trapped otherwise. I mean, he's way down in the deep, deep depths of Moria, and would take a long way to spelunk his way back up to, the ground level if he were left on his own. So, his enemy is his only hope, as he says. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be, walking arm in arm, right? Or Gandalf 3 feet behind him, right? Or whatever, as they're going through. I mean, he could be pursuing him. So I think of all of those times, all of those Lotro quests where we're tracking an enemy, coming across evidence of him having been there and finding out where he's going next. Gandalf may have been lagging further behind the Balrog and tracking him. And therefore, who knows what things Gandalf was up to and and everything. So, I don't know. Hey, Samwise. Welcome. Okay, you're almost caught up with exploring the Lord of the Rings. Congratulations. That is a huge project. Huge project. Oh, hang on. Oh, there we go. I suppose I can worry less. Yes, you can.
Ready.
You can always worry less thanks to my efforts. Still, the tide of enemies advances. We must remain strong and protect the White City at all costs. This is a fine start down the path to victory.
Shame you couldn't see it in better days.
There is much more to do, though, if we are to stand a chance in the day to come. I know, you already gave me a whole mess of quests. Whoa, dude.
Is this your first time in Minas Tirith?
Okay.
Shame you couldn't see it in better days.
Okay. We must learn more about this new foe, the Suhalar. I keep saying it wrong. Suhalar, if we are to defeat them. Their weapons intrigue me. Perhaps if we were to gather some of their axes and metals. Okay. Okay. We can learn more about where these axemen come from. There's a Suhalar encampment against the northern Ramas, not too far from here. Okay. Let us show the Suhalar that they are no match for Gondor. Go to their encampment against the northern Ramas, destroy their banners, and place banners of Gondor throughout their camp. That'll teach them. Oh, yeah, let's prank them.
We can only hope that the Rohirrim...
Maybe they'll wake up, think they're in the wrong camp, go home. I'm worried about the Suhalar encampment. Yeah, I hear you. You've been saying that. Its numbers continue to grow. I fear they may try to take the Ramas in the North Gate if left unchecked. I think that's pretty much their plan. I'm counting on you to defeat the forces gathered there. Be careful, as the Axemen are strong and skilled warriors. Okay.
Is this your first time in Minas Tirith?
Right, the encampment must be stopped, free their horses,
See it in better days.
and burn their tents. Okay, free their horses, then burn their tents. We've got a sequential quest. Okay. You have to get the horses out and then burn the tents because you might spook the horses. Okay. All right, so all that stuff is over here. Fine, fine. That's just what we'll do. Next week, that's just what we'll do. As Ingold, we are running out of time, and you have so many quests. Do all these count as Minas Tirith quests? I thought I only had 21 quests to do in all of Minas Tirith. As it said, that was my... These probably don't count. Anyway, no problem. Yeah, I won't burn the horses and free the tents. We won't do it backwards, obviously. Yeah. Okay. All right, Ingold. It's been great to meet you, and I will continue your pile of quests. But this is good. I came out here first because, of course, I like to be thorough. So we could finish up all outside, then I'll do the first tier. You know, I would like to do them like in order. I know it's going to send me around. I'm going to be popping up and down the tiers of Minas Tirith, in this continual flow. Like, I understand. That my dreams of like completing the first tier and then completing the second tier and then completing the third tier are complete fantasy. I understand this. I totally acknowledge this. But still, let's actually... Oh, I don't get quest rings on this one, huh? That's interesting. What are these flags of things I haven't been to yet? Houses of healing? Oh, the houses are already... The Thirsty Seer? So taverns are already flagged? Why are they flagged on my map? Have I been here before? Oh, it's the Midsummer map. Huh. Okay. Interesting. I guess that would be why the quests aren't on it. Wouldn't it? Weird. That's kind of wild. All right, no problem. Well, as I say, we'll finish up Ingold's many quests next week, and then I'll head to the South Gate, where doubtless there will be many more quests to clear up in the south. And then, once we've handled the Ramas, we'll go back into town, stop looters, and visit statues, and continue to have all manner of Minas Tirith-themed fun. But yeah, before I go, I did want to make an announcement. So tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. on the Signum University Twitch and YouTube channels, I'm going to be doing a special live stream. In support. We're trying to raise money for the relief efforts in Turkey for the earthquake victims. I'm going to be joined on this stream by folks from Ortadunya, which is the Turkish Tolkien YouTube channel. And so we're going to be hearing from folks in Turkey about conditions over there, and just to learn more about what's going on and what they're experiencing. We're going and we're going to talk about Tolkien. We're going to talk about the theme of hope in Tolkien, which seemed an appropriate thing to talk about under the circumstances. So the dual purpose is, for everyone outside to just kind of help raise awareness and see if we can raise money. And to help out over there. But the other purpose is the stream for the benefit of Tolkien fans in Turkey, to give them some support and encouragement during this time too, as well as donating money and helping to the relief and rescue efforts over there. So that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow at 1 p.m. Again, you can go to the Signum University Twitch or YouTube channels. I'm going to be joined by a bunch of special guests. Alan Sisto from the Prancing Pony is going to be joining me. Kirsten Cairns from the OneRing.net is going to be joining me. I think Matt from Nerd of the Rings is going to be joining me. So we're just kind of getting together to rally around the folks over there in Turkey who are suffering so much now as a result of this disaster earlier this week. So I invite you to join me 1 p.m. on the Signum channels. Thanks very much, everybody, and I will see you guys next week, and we will continue exploring and doing Ingold's tasks. Thanks, everybody. Bye now. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.